So today we're going to begin a new lesson. Our new lesson is on a concept called symbiosis. Our essential questions for this unit are: what is a symbiotic relationship? What is the difference between mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism? And what are examples of each? Well, let's first begin by defining symbiosis. Symbiosis is a type of close and long-term relationship between two different species. There are three types of symbiosis: commensalism, parasitism, and mutualism. Let's talk about commensalism. Commensalism is a symbiotic relationship where there are two different species of organisms, and one species benefits and the other is not helped or harmed. Some examples of commensalism are between the remora shark and the remora and the zebra shark. The remora attaches itself to the shark and rides along. It saves energy. It gets some protection. The zebra shark, on the other hand, is not helped or hurt by this. When you look at a cattle and an egret, so what happens is the cattle moves, it stirs up the insects, or there's insects by it, and the egret gets to eat the bugs. And our last one is where we have plants that grow on woody plants, and they get their nutrients there like the air plants. They get their nutrients that way, so they don't hurt the other plants. They just use it for support and access to sun. A parasitic relationship is where one organism is hurt and another one benefits. These are words that we learned last chapter or last section: host and parasite. Remember, the host is the one that is being harmed. The parasite is the one that is benefiting. Some examples of parasitism: pinworm. They're small little thin worms. Those can negatively affect people. Other worms would be like heartworms, and that in like your dog, or tapeworms in humans. Head lice, fleas, ticks, scabies, leeches, all of those are examples of different parasites. A mutualism relationship is where both organisms benefit. Examples of a mutualistic relationship are oxpeckers and rhinos. The oxpeckers are those little tiny birds that ride on the rhinos' backs there. And what happens is the oxpeckers eat all the little bugs off of the rhino's back, and then they get food, they get protection because nobody's going to mess with them when they're on the back of that big rhino. But the rhino also benefits because the parasites are all eaten off of the rhino and they stay healthy. Flowers and bees. Bees get food, flowers get pollinated. And the one that everybody always names is always sea anemones and clownfish. So thinking about Nemo, what Nemo lived in is Nemo lived in an anemone. An anemone is a place that it would sting other fish, and that so the clownfish gets a safe place to live. It gets protection. It also eats some of the like the particles in that from the anemone. So this is another mutualistic relationship. So match those little pictures up there. Which little symbols would match parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism? And then in your notes, answer these two questions. Identify the basic characteristics of a symbiotic relationship, including mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Give examples of each of the 3 types of symbiotic relationships. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please finish your notes up and hand them in through either sending me a picture on Teams or turning them in through the assignment tab on Teams.